Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an update for overall Star Wars gaming and what we might anticipate to see in the future of Star Wars gaming. We're gonna go ahead and hop right on into it. We do have some exciting updates in this video, and some, well, not so as exciting updates in this video, so stay tuned for that. In this video, we are going to be taking a read from StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. We also have our merch shop up live and running. You may find some pretty cool designs on there that you may like. Use some promo codes we have there on there as well to get some money off. Go check it out, linked in the description down below. Okay, so Disney Gaming Vice President has recently taken to comment on the gaming partnerships, acquisitions, rumors, and the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which is very prominent. We'll get to that in just a moment. As an overall announcement update for Star Wars gaming and for the future of Star Wars gaming, I think even at that. The Knights of the Old Republic remake video game is, well, as I had mentioned, we'll get to that in just a moment, but for those of you that haven't heard, last we did hear about that game is that it's just downright completely cancelled and not moving forward whatsoever. Okay, so in a recent newsletter published by Axios, the Senior Vice President of Gaming at Disney, Sean Shopataw, has spoke about how many pressing topics related to Disney's games, specifically with their Star Wars gaming. This includes overall, though, the state of Disney's partnerships, rumors of acquisitions, and the state of the Knights of the Old Republic remake video game. While Disney does not currently develop any of its own games internally, Shopataw's recent interview highlights the company's current outlook and strategy for the gaming market, specifically when it comes to a galaxy far, far away. In regards to Disney's tactic of outsourcing game development to other publishers and developers, Shopataw had said that Disney is just starting. Its strategy that has borne a lot of acclaimed products over the last couple of years, especially including the Star Wars Jedi series from Respawn Entertainment with Jedi Fallen Order and recently Jedi Survivor. But not all of them have been critically or commercial successes at that. Yet that doesn't seem to discourage Shopataw and for the future of Star Wars gaming. He actually emphasized on how difficult video game development can be, as we all know, and added that it's not just that easy assumption to say, well, Disney could do that in-house, on their own. Shopataw also indirectly had addressed rumors of Disney purchasing a big-name gaming developer and publisher like EA. In a recent report by Bloomberg, it was actually suggested that Disney CEO Bob Iger was pressured to buy a gaming company like EA to have a larger presence in the gaming world and industry. Shopataw declined to address this rumor though directly, but did state the following, saying that, in quote, "There's a lot of conversation around Disney should go do this, and a lot of that's tied to big accusations and things. We're very happy with where we are now though, strategically in the work that we're doing." Ending that quote right there. I for one think that if Disney was to go ahead and buy a third-party game developer and publisher like EA, they would go crazy with all the different gamings and games that they would have coming out, especially for Star Wars and also for Marvel. If you are a Marvel fan, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below. In regards to the more than troubled Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake though, as we had mentioned at the beginning of the video, Shopataw didn't have much to say other than that he still believes there's a demand for this product and for that game to come out. Last month, as I had mentioned, video game insiders Jason Schreier and Jeff Grubb both had conflicting reports about how development was progressing for the Knights of the Old Republic remake game, and that it simply just, well, really wasn't, and that it seemed to be cancelled. But Shopataw's comments seem to actually suggest that Disney at least has an interest in eventually releasing a Knights of the Old Republic remake video game. Maybe even if it isn't being developed right now, it doesn't mean that it is necessarily cancelled, and that's something I want to emphasize on, because when we did last report on the Knights of the Old Republic remake video game, is that it sounded like that it was just downright cancelled and wouldn't ever actually be happening. He says that in quote, "Not a lot that I can say on that point for some hopefully obvious reasons, but the Knights of the Old Republic remake is obviously an incredible popular game, one that we're incredibly proud of, and I think that there's still a lot of demand for it." I'll leave it there. I mean, that quote right there. It sounds like that he's even heard of some of those rumors about the troubling progression of the video game at the same time as well, maybe even having heard that it's been like reportedly canceled, or that it's like halted its development and that it isn't currently being worked on, as I had mentioned, which does seem to be the case. Disney does, though, however, have several other upcoming video games on its slate, both within and without of the Star Wars universe, but of those including Star Wars Outlaws, which will be released next year, as announced and had the trailer shown this year. Outside of Star Wars, though, there's also the Indiana Jones game reportedly being made by Machine Games, and the recently announced Blade game for Marvel. And so, that is where their article concludes, and as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have their article linked in the description down below. Let's break it down a little bit more. Like, overall, in conclusion, as an overview, what are we taking away from this? Like, why is this important to us as Star Wars fans and for the content that we're going to be seeing in the foreseeable future? I think, for one, this does put a pulse read on the Knights of the Old Republic remake video game, as into the sense of that, well, it is still a potential, they just currently aren't working on it as of right now. It doesn't mean that they won't be working on it maybe next year or in the next 2 years. Either way, though, it's still going to be a wait and a bit of a delay for the Knights of the Old Republic game. So aside from that, a bit of a pulse read on the Knights of the Old Republic remake video game, as I had mentioned, then there is also this whole other idea of Disney, Bob Iger, CEO, wanting to potentially buy out a game developer such as one that's big as EA for their future game development. And that isn't just under Star Wars, that goes for Marvel and anything else that they may come up with, putting on Disney on more of a heavier side of wanting to release gaming content just as a whole, overall, with all of their different franchises. I really believe that to be a good idea, honestly, and I think that would put a bit of a tightened hold on many games that have been kind of canceled or just are like way too far out in their development, even though they say that they are still working on them. That's another thing I want to mention. Like, game development is not easy. I myself personally have never developed a game, but everything that I've heard about game development is that it's a lot of work, a lot of hard work goes into game development. So I think a big thing that comes with that is that you gotta be appreciative and you gotta let them take their time. You can't rush art. But as I digress there, this whole idea of Disney buying out another game developing studio to kind of keep tabs on them, to keep them kind of like under their radar a little bit more, rather than just kind of like lending out those franchising licensing fees, if for anything as well, I think could be something, a direction that we could see in the near future, with having something maybe under the umbrella name of, like, I don't know, Disney Games. It's an idea, and it's an interesting one. A bit of, you know, capitalism going on there nonetheless, but hey, maybe we could get Battlefront 3. And so, aside from having Star Wars Outcast Laws, or what's it called? Outcast Laws? Star Wars Outlaws, my bad. I don't know, it slipped my brain there for a minute. Having that releasing next year is something to look forward to in the new year for Star Wars content, especially in the gaming world of things there as well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, for more future updates, continuous updates, something of a consistency for LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga there as well. I hope to see more going on with that video game there as well. That's probably like the only Star Wars game I think that I'm like kind of playing most frequently, aside from Battlefront 2. They need to make Battlefront 3. Anyway, guys, of course, with this year all being said, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What are you guys looking forward to seeing most with Star Wars gaming? What do you guys think about Knights of the Old Republic not necessarily being canceled, but something that might be a bit farther out than we're anticipating and expecting to see? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.